person next to you. Say I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in your sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in your sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. From every walk of life. Every creed and color. Intensity unite. In honor of the God in each other. Ooh, take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in your sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love.
Hello, everyone. Adrian, go ahead and get started.
Good afternoon. I am Adrienne Bose. I am the current president of the Board of Trustees. Thank you for being here today. I would like to introduce Jeff Basham, our Zoom host and technical director, who will be assisting me in conducting the business of the meeting. I will start off by asking Jeff if a quorum of 15% of our members is present.
Sorry, had to unmute. Yes, we do have 15%. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jeff. I'd like to ask all current Board of Trustee members to join us by turning on their cameras at this time. Thank you. I can now call the meeting to order. I would like to welcome you to the 2026 annual gathering of the members of the Center for Spiritual Living, Santa Rosa. This is a public meeting, and it is being recorded to be posted on our website to satisfy the public requirements. Continued participation in the meeting indicates you are consenting to be recorded and for this recording to be posted. At this meeting, we will be conducting the annual business of our center, which will include approving the minutes from last year's meeting, presenting to you the financial condition of the center, receiving an update from our senior minister, electing this year's trustees, and inducting our new board of trustees. We will begin our time together, as we do at all of our business meetings, with the spiritual mind treatment provided by prayer practitioner Anne Marie Cheney.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let's breathe together for a minute and become present right here, right now, letting go of everything that has come before, to be right here in the presence of the divine, It is always found in the present moment. It is the source of all good. It is creativity. It is love. It is intelligence. And it is flowing through every part of creation right here, right now. It is flowing through me. It is flowing through everyone on this call. And I claim for our time together that we use the creative intelligence of spirit to make decisions that will guide our center for the coming year, to support our center in its growth, and to connect with each other doing the business of the center. I am so grateful to be here. I am so grateful for this prayer. I am so grateful for this practice. And I release this prayer into the law, knowing that it is unfolding exactly as it should. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. The Board of Trustees also begins our meetings with the reading of our sacred covenant, which I will read to you now. Our identity as the Board of Trustees is to be completely humble, gentle, and patient with one another in love. We make every effort to keep the unity of spirit through the bond of peace. We each perceive that we are one with all people, and all are one with us. There is no separation. Our vision is unity. Our purpose is expressing love through service. Our intentions are to embrace spiritual principle and practice as the foundation of our activities, to maintain a big picture awareness, to articulate our vision, values, and philosophy, to maintain a high level of service and stewardship, to be ambassadors of the center, and to communicate openly and regularly. I have some important information about how we will conduct this meeting. First, when I ask for a motion, if you would like to make the motion or second any of the motions, please press the raised hand button on your device. The first two people to raise their hands will be announced as the persons who moved and seconded the motion. Once a motion is made and seconded, a discussion will take place. Those wishing to be acknowledged when a discussion is called for should also use the raised hand button on the device. You will be accepted in the order you raised your hand. Jeff will permit you to talk, and you will need to unmute yourself before beginning your comments. After this discussion is complete, you will be asked to vote by an electronic poll, which will appear on your screens. The results will be announced and displayed on your screen for viewing once the vote has concluded. Our first vote will be to approve the minutes from our 2025 annual meeting. These minutes have been available for your review on our website for the past month. May I please have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the 2025 annual membership meeting?
And the motion is made by Gary Ioko and seconded by Tamira Hume. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion? Remember, if you would like to speak, please unmute yourself and raise your hand.
I do not see any raised hands.
Thank you. Now our vote. Please cast your vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the 2025 annual membership meeting using the electronic poll displayed on your device.
Okay, we'll just give it another 10 seconds or so to finish up the poll here. Okay, I think we're still waiting just for about 20 people to vote.
Okay.
And 5 seconds left. Okay, we'll go ahead and end that and share the results. And the motion has passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you all. Now we will move forward with this year's business and turn our attention to the matters of finance. First, I would like to introduce Mark McDonald. Mark is an independent CPA who has been associated with the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa for many years. Mark has reviewed the 2025 end financials and is here today to provide his statement. After Mark's presentation, we will hear from our treasurer, Karen Hatton. And after Karen speaks, I will open the floor for questions and comments.
Hi, I am Mark McDonald. I have the privilege to serve as the Center's independent CPA. I am responsible for reviewing the Center's financial statements, which includes meeting with Center management, obtaining appropriate supporting records for the various accounts in the financial statements, doing inquiries and analytical procedures, and concluding whether the Center's financial statements conform to the presentation and disclosure requirements of generally accepted accounting principles in the United States. You may wonder, if I review the Center, who reviews me? Well, every 3 years, my accounting practice is independently evaluated by the American Institute of CPAs peer review program for quality assurance purposes. The Center's 2025 financial statements have been posted to its website, and I have gone over them with the Center's stewards and trustees. And they were pleased, in part because the Center had a good year thanks to your contributions of money and service to its programs. Your treasurer will fill you in on the details, including the progress made to build up Center finances to meet a challenge that many people unfortunately face nowadays, the challenge of keeping a roof over our heads. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And now our treasurer, Karen Hatton, will speak.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I want to thank Mark for his many, many years of continued service to our center. As in past years, Mark's complete 2025 year-end financial report is available on our website. Just click on the beautiful red flowers and you'll find it there. Today, I'll highlight a few of the key points about our financials. First, I want to start with gratitude. Our center simply could not thrive without the generosity of this community. In 2025, total contributions were just over $1 million. Of that amount, about $200,000 was restricted donor contributions given for the roof renovation capital campaign. If we remove those restricted donations, our general contributions were about $40,000 lower than the previous year. Even so, I feel incredibly hopeful about our future. We are seeing steady growth in attendance. We gave 331 flowers to first-time visitors in 2025. We also welcomed 40 new members into our community last year. Many Sundays when I walk through the social hall, I feel the warmth of people reconnecting, meeting new friends, and building relationships. And that is a beautiful sign of a thriving center. We also saw encouraging growth in several other areas. Under Reverend Russ's leadership, our education ministry experienced remarkable expansion. Education revenue actually doubled from 2024, thanks to the strong interest in new classes and workshops. Our room rentals to outside nonprofit groups continue to be another bright spot. Income from rentals grew from about $33,000 to more than $43,000 in 2025. And of course, the bookstore. Who doesn't love our fabulous bookstore? Sales there increased by over $4,000 from the previous year. Additional income sources also strengthened our financial picture. We earned about $39,000 in interest and dividends, and our legacy fund at Abacus Wealth Partners gained more than $117,000 in value in 2025. Sometimes we're also blessed by unexpected generosity. In 2025, for example, we received a $20,000 bequest and a $20,000 donation for landscaping, which we are deeply grateful for. And while I'm mentioning giving, there's a small reminder for those who take a required minimum distribution from an IRA. If you make a direct gift from your IRA to a nonprofit, that amount is not taxed as income. It's a wonderful way to support organizations you care about. Of course, some of the most joyful ways we receive funds are the events that bring our community together. Last year's Nurturing Our Community fundraiser raised nearly $12,000, and we also held an arts and crafts fundraiser that brought in over $9,000. The exciting news is that this year's Nurturing Our Community fundraiser will be even bigger, with more events planned. Bidding starts in April, and we hope many of you will join in the fun. Here's another easy way to support the center that many people don't realize, simply by shopping at Oliver's Market. Through the eScript program, our center received almost $11,000 last year. If you haven't signed up yet, forms are available at the information table in the social hall. Turning briefly to expenses, overall expenses in 2025 were about $40,000 higher than in 2024. Given the rising costs of goods and services these days, that increase is not surprising. One of the things that help our center tremendously is our incredible team of volunteers. Truly, our volunteers are the backbone of this vibrant and healthy center. If you've ever thought about volunteering, I encourage you to take that step. It can be a deeply rewarding and enriching part of your spiritual practice. I know it certainly has been for me. Financially, our center remains stable and well supported. We maintain cash reserves in CDs, and we also have the strength of our legacy fund. Even after removing the large contribution for the roof renovation, we still ended 2025 with a positive cash flow. Looking ahead, we may see a temporary negative cash flow over the next couple of years, based on a very conservative forecast. There are several unknowns that may affect our cash flow, including the retirement of Dr. Edward and the transition to a new senior minister. The good news is that in 2028, our long-term debt will drop significantly when the mortgage on our building is paid off, reducing our expenses by about $7,500 per month. So while there are always uncertainties ahead, I feel confident in the strength and commitment of this community. With your continued support and engagement, I truly believe our center will keep growing, thriving, and serving in meaningful ways for many years to come. Thank you all for your part of this journey.
Thank you, Karen. The floor is now open for questions or comments specifically directed toward our treasurer or CPA. We've asked Dr. Edward and COO Linda Hann to join us in answering your questions. If you wish to ask a question, you have two options. You can tap or click on the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and type your question into the Q&A screen. Questions will be read aloud and answered in the order received. Or you may also ask your question live by clicking on the raise hand button on your device. Those who raise their hands will be acknowledged and will need to unclick their unmute button on their device before asking their questions.
Okay, just getting set here for the questions. Chandra Farnsworth, go ahead and unmute and ask your question, please.
Yes, thanks for that report, Karen. That was excellent. So you mentioned, one thing you mentioned was that expenses were $40,000 higher than the year before, but I am curious, we all know that prices are higher, but can you give us some more detail on that, please?
Excuse me, Chandra, I can answer that.
Great.
We actually spent $23,000 in landscaping in 2025. And as Karen mentioned, that was actually a donor restricted contribution. So that money could only be spent for landscaping. We spent $7,000 repairing thermostats in the building, $2,800 on replacing an old sump pump, and $4,000 in roof maintenance in the month of December.
And so I know that there was a gift for landscaping, but did that come out of, does that offset the $23,000 for landscaping?
Yes, in fact, I think we still have $12,000
Okay.
in that fund for landscaping.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Chandra. And we have some questions in the Q&A. I'm going to take them slightly out of order because there was a question related. Kimberly asks, you said donations were down 40,000 from last year. Can you please say what percentage that is?
Karen, I can probably grab that. I don't know the percentage, but our contributions came in around 800,000, and that was 40,000 less than the previous year.
Thank you. And Susan Whit-Butler, you have your hand raised. Go ahead and unmute and you can ask your question.
Yes, and Karen, again, that was a beautiful report. I wondered if I understood correctly, when will the mortgage be finished and paid for, and we get the 7,000 whatever off our monthly charge?
I believe it's 2028, about the middle of 2028.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And there was that same question in the chat, so I'm going to mark that one as completed. We have a comment from David Reichard saying, congratulations on the almost paid off mortgage. Interesting, Edward's vision years ago will be paid off about the time he moves on to other things. So thank you, David, for that. And we have a question from Laura asking, did you say that the total donations were $1 million in 2025?
Correct. And that included the donation for the roof renovation. So if you take that out, that's where we just looked at the general contribution.
Yeah, so the general contributions, Laura, is about 800,000. And then as Treasurer Karen mentioned, we received 200,000 for the roof.
Okay, I do not see any more hands raised or questions in the chat. And so we can move on.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you to our financial panel. At this time, I ask for a motion and a second to vote to accept the financial statements for the year end December 31, 2025.
And the motion was made by Jackie Hansen and seconded by Michael Waldorf.
Thank you. So the floor is now open for questions or comments specifically directed toward the treasurer or CPA.
Well,
there is a
we
motion.
already did that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
There is a motion on the floor and the discussion has taken place. So are we ready now to do our electronic poll? Thank you, Jeff. Please cast your vote to accept the financials 2025.
Okay, we'll leave this open just for another few moments here. I have another about 30 people that need to select their answer. Okay, 10 seconds left, everyone. Okay, we'll go ahead and end the poll here. And share the results.
Thank you very much.
And then passed, yes.
The
Thank you.
financial statements have been selected. Now I would like to take this time to introduce you to our current trustees. You can wave at the camera as your name is called. Myself, Adrienne Bose, Karen Hatton, who you just heard as the treasurer, and Greg Summers. Our terms are ending at the end of today.
Sorry, hold on just 1 second here. I'm working on getting everyone on the screen. Sorry, Adrienne.
That's okay. No worry, no worry.
1 moment here. Okay, now everyone should, yes, go ahead.
I think we see the three of us who are literally at the end of this meeting. We're moving on to our next steps. There are terms ending in a year from now, and that is Mary Munat, Maxine Wilkinson, and Vicki Dodson. Thank you. And then there are those who are ending their term in 2028, and that would be Lawrence Edwards and Olivia Kinsler. Iris Maitland isn't available to be with us today, but she is also ending her term in 2028. At this time, the current trustees will introduce the slate of candidates for the next term. First, Karen Hatton, will you please introduce your trustee candidate?
Hi, I will introduce the first member of the slate of candidates for the Board of Trustees, Sue Simon. Sue has been an active and dedicated member of the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa for more than 3 decades and is deeply honored to regard the center as her spiritual home. She is a longtime resident of Sebastopol and an active participant in the Sebastopol Senior Lesbian and Community Group. Sue's personal interests include gardening, reading, films, and board games. She and her spunky corgi, Gracie, can often be found out for walks or happily playing ball. Travel has been an important part of Sue's retirement years, including many trips to beautiful New Zealand. Her daughter Katie and son-in-law live there, and this family connection explains her ongoing relationship with the country. Professionally, Sue devoted her career to public education, serving as an elementary and middle school principal. Her leadership and service were strongly guided by the teachings and practices of science of mind. Sue has likewise demonstrated an enduring commitment to the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa through many years of volunteer services and support. She is honored to have been selected to serve the center as a member of the Board of Trustees. Next, Maxine, will you please introduce the next trustee candidate?
Yes. Hi, and good afternoon. I'm Maxine Wilkinson, and I get to introduce Patty Byrne, the second candidate for the Board of Trustees. Patty began her journey with the center in 2010 in Princeton, New Jersey. Discovering a passion for spiritual study, teaching, and community, She was licensed as a practitioner in 2015. After moving to California, Patty continued teaching and sharing her passion for self-love, forgiveness, and inner transformation. She has been an active member of the jail ministry team for over 3 years. She is committed to spiritual growth, compassionate service, and supporting the continued evolution of the center. With a professional background in nursing, mental health, hospice care, and healthcare leadership, her work is centered around empathy and support. Beyond her service work, Patty is an avid reader, an enthusiastic traveler who has explored more than 30 countries. She has enjoyed photography, hiking, kayaking, snorkeling, and spending time with the people she loves. Now, Vicki, will you introduce our third trustee candidate?
Of course. I'm Vicki Dodson, and I'm honored to introduce Sherry Poole. These are her words that I'm reading. I bring 30 years of experience to Science of Mind since I was first introduced to this teaching in 1994. From the time I first stepped into one of our centers, I knew instantly that I had come home to an understanding of spirituality such as I had never known. Science of Mind taught me and continues teaching me not what to think, but how to think. I love the center for the way it feeds me, reminds me, and provides opportunities for me to share what I know and believe. I am dedicated to doing whatever I can to see it continue to prosper and grow for all of us here and now, and for so many generations to come. With love and thanks, Sherry Poole. Thank you, Sherry. Now we go back to Adrian.
Yes. Thank you, Karen and Maxine and Vicki. Are there any other nominations for trustee from the floor?
There are no hands raised.
Thank you very much. Hearing no nominations, I ask for a motion and a second to accept this slate of candidates as presented by the Board of Trustees.
The motion was made by Randy Coleman and seconded by Ann Snyder. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion? If you would like to speak on the motion, please tap or click on the raised hand button, and you will be acknowledged and unmuted as needed.
There are no raised hands.
Thank you. Then now you know what happens. It's time for the vote. Please cast your vote to approve the slate of candidates as seen on your device.
Waiting another few seconds for all the votes to come in. And we will end this vote now and share those results. And the motion has passed.
Wonderful. Thank you. And congratulations to Patty and Sherry and Sue. We welcome you to the Board of Trustees and are grateful for your service. Now we would like to take a few moments to thank our outgoing trustees. Each will receive a trustee emeritus name badge. When you see a person wearing such a badge, you will know that they have served on the board and are likely able to answer questions that you may have regarding our center or point you in the right direction. Departing trustees are invited to join the alumni trustee group, which meets monthly for a former trustees dialogue to maintain camaraderie and to be of further service to the center. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, Vicki, Maxine, and Lawrence will now present messages of our gratitude to the outgoing trustees.
I'm going to be saying goodbye to Adrian. I'm Vicki Dodson. Adrian Bose has been the president of the Board of Trustees for the last 2 years. When I think of the desired qualities for the president of the Board of Trustees, I think of integrity, intelligence, dependability, being responsible, competent, kind, and spiritually awake. And these all embody these, and Adrian embodies all of these qualities. From getting the agenda out on time every month to gently leading the board of independent thinkers, Adrian's quiet presence was always felt during the board meetings as she presided with patience, confidence, and poise during the board's meeting. She made important comments about the various agenda items and led discussions in an easy and professional manner. Without having to say anything, we all knew that Adrian expected the best from each of us on the board. I will miss Adrian as president of the board, but I know that she will continue to be in high service to the center as she will be instrumental in the recruiting and nominating of the new senior minister. Our center is in good hands with Adrian's professional, thorough, and wise decision-making. Adrian's love for the center and service to the center is an inspiration and example to us all. Thank you, Adrian, for your service.
Hello again. I'm Maxine, and I am here to say thank you to Karen. Karen, you have accomplished so much in your 3 years. I might start crying on the board. Your commitment, your talent, your humor, and your love for the community has been strongly felt by many people. You brought the same generosity of spirit to many CSL committees and community events. Our vibrant community is richer because of your years of selfless service. For the past 2 years, you have served as our treasurer and steward liaison. In these roles, you kept the board well informed about our finances. I will miss your words of wisdom, but know you are not far away. I truly feel blessed to have had you as my mentor and role model over the past 2 years. You guided and supported me in my new role with love and kindness. I have deep gratitude for all the ways you have contributed to the benefit of all of us. Thank you again for your service on the Board of Trustees. Now, Lawrence, it's your turn to speak a few words about Greg.
Hi, my name is Lawrence Edwards. And Greg, on behalf of the community of CSL SR, I thank you for the heart of love that you have emanated while serving on our Board of Trustees for the past 3 years. My experiences of you have been one of clarity, support, and joy. It is clear to me that your family is of the utmost importance to you by your authentic and vulnerable sharing of your heart. Your presence on the board will be missed, yet not from this community, as you continue serving our community as a member of our new minister search committee. Again, Greg, thank you for your heart in serving our community.
Thank you, everyone. It is now my pleasure to turn the meeting over to our senior minister, Dr. Edward Fillion.
Oh, goodness me, that was quite moving. I think I'm going to have to take a moment to take a deep breath. But I'm ready to talk to you about some exciting things. And the first of all is an update on our capital campaign, which we called Covering the Future. And it is a wonderful thing to start with that because there's a lot to celebrate. So I'm going to share a screen with you with some slides. And here it is. So Will you just wave at me if you can see that? Okay, marvelous. So I'm calling it the roof renewal update. And the very first thing I want to do is to thank the committee who has been working behind the scenes tirelessly for quite a while now. Bob Stander is our facility manager, and he is taking the lead in this. On the committee is past trustee Bob Hart, past steward Jim Thomason, and Wayne Stanfield, who is all throughout our center, and he's a past member of our AIDS Life Cycle team, and he has got a lot of professional history in construction. Also got to thank Linda Han for being there, and I've had a little bit to support the committee as well. So these are the people behind the scenes. First of all, thank the committee, but really thank you, the community, because we should celebrate that we have raised $205,000 towards our roof renewal. And that's no small feat. It is a huge sign of confidence, and it happened so quickly and so open-heartedly. So now let me give you an update on where we are with the roof renewal process. Starting way back, I think it's accurate to say we've been through 9 bids of a very wide range of applications and costs, and we've had the guidance of a consultant who specializes in roofs for big commercial properties. So where we are right now is in the final selection process with the committee. We're looking at 2. One is a local company, and the other one is a close to local company in Sacramento, and we're comparing the quotes, we're comparing the services, and we're wading through all of the language of warranties and services, and it's quite a lot to do. So it's in process right now, pretty close. Some considerations I want to bring to you, the 2 estimates that we're looking at the moment for the work, the scope of work related only to the covering on the roof, it's in the range of 176 to 186,000. However, there are associated costs. You know, when you take a roof off, whatever was on the roof has to come off and go back on, which includes things like gutters and the lights that are up there. This is good news because all of these things, it was time for them to be replaced anyway. Also, there is, we're exploring a warranty extension that will extend the warranty to 30 years. So when we add that all together, it's likely going to be in the area of 225 to 250,000. We do have prudent reserves to cover that extra. However, if you want to continue to contribute to the Covering the Future capital campaign, we have left it up on our website. So if you go to our website, cslsr.org, and scroll down to the picture of the building, we will still gratefully accept your donations towards this final amount. And we're going pretty rapidly through the material, but you know, more than speed, care is important. So we are looking very carefully at all of the language, and we've sent a bunch of questions back to the 2 companies to get clear on where we are. So that is the update on the capital campaign. And before I give the report on our Senior Minister Search Committee, I'll see, are there any questions that anybody would like to put in the chat or ask me about the roof capital campaign?
Dr. Edward, I do not see any hands raised or questions in the Q&A for you.
Wonderful, because I spoke too soon.
I take that back. Alora, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Yeah, I was just, my thought was, when the work is being done, how will that affect services? And I think I just answered my own question that they probably won't be working at the weekend.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's very interesting in the sample agreements that the company send out, they address that, and you can see they're thinking of organizations that operate 9 to 5 on a weekday, saying, you know, there's going to be some bleed over of sound, and we might be stomping on your roof, and that could cause dust to settle. But we operate primarily on the weekend, so I think it's going to be just fine. And it's probably 2 weeks of work.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, no one else, go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm going to share the screen again to tell you about our Senior Minister Search Committee. Before I do, you may have noticed when you registered for the annual membership meeting that there was a tile on our website for the annual membership meeting, and in it were all the documents for this meeting, the minutes, the financial reports. In it there, and if you didn't notice, we're going to leave it up, there's a set of questions and answers, some frequently asked questions about the senior minister search process. And we're leaving that up there because you might want to go through that. I'm sure your questions are in there and covered because we collected typical questions that we've been hearing over time, and the trustees and I answered it together. There is also a much more comprehensive report on the progress and the timeline for our search over there for you to absorb in your leisure. So I'm going to give you a more high-level report right now. Keep in mind that I gave notice. We've got 3 years of notice, so we got started right away after last year's meeting, and we've accomplished a lot of work. We are really preparing mindfully to do the search in an easy, unrushed, spiritually motivated way. Now, let me give you another slideshow and share it with you. Thank you, and wave at me if you can see that. Oh, good. Thank you. So this is the report for our annual membership meeting about our Senior Minister Search Committee, which we knew we had to set in place, and we went about doing that so that we could be ready to report to you. After interviewing people and going through the qualities that would really be important for people to be on this committee, we voted on a committee to serve the congregation. We thought it important to have people who were recently involved in leadership. That's why the first thing we did was ask the outgoing trustees about their availability to serve. Because now that they're no longer reading 1 million emails a day for being on the board of trustees, they have some time. We also thought it would be important to identify people who have high visibility, high involvement. They've got a stake in our center. They've been volunteering. They have been serving. People like, for example, Jim Thomason, who's a past steward, who's volunteered on the board, in the bookstore, who knows the financial, the running of our center. Like Randy Coleman, who was a past board president, like Anne-Marie Cheney, who not only served on the board, but is very active in supporting the services as an usher, and then the outgoing trustees. So you can see that we spend a lot of time, and when we asked these people to serve on the committee, we gave them a very thorough outline of the time commitment, of how much they would be meeting, how long the commitment was. It's really over 2 years. It's a 2-year commitment. And so these are our members: Jim Thomason, Randy Coleman, Anne-Marie Cheney, Adrian Bowes, Greg Summers, and Karen Hatton. And I'm going to remain available for this committee throughout their process because I know a lot about the structure of home office and the operation of home office that I can help supplement them when they're thinking about how to go with it. In their very first meeting, we conducted an orientation where we got to know each other. We also established a confidential Google Drive on our organization's Google Workspace. This is to comply with the requirement to have proper documentation retention so that the process is documented and it is there. It also gives a space for the committee to thoroughly review and share ideas in a confidential holding area. We also adopted engagement agreements. In other words, we talked about consensus decision making and the communication norms. The committee knows they're going to report to the Board of Trustees monthly. They know they know what they have to do, how they're going to communicate with the congregation. In their second meeting, you see, we took our time. The second meeting, they did a values exploration. It's called the values audit, where they reflected on what are the values that were driving them individually to be able to serve on this so that we could see, are we on the same page? Once we did that, we also identified what are the next steps for this committee by looking at the timeline that was already established shortly after last year's annual membership meeting. So the core values this particular group identified were collaboration, integrity, and being spirit guided, bringing spirituality into their practice. And so they're going to use these as the compass for their work in identifying our new senior minister. They wrote a covenant. Do you recall at the beginning of this meeting, our president read the sacred covenant of the Board of Trustees? Well, this committee wanted to do something similar. So they came up with a statement that they plan to read every time they get together to work. Each of us brings full participation, accountability, and genuine commitment, working together toward our shared goal. We bring clarity, honesty, and integrity to every step of the process, letting our values guide us toward the best outcome for our community. Rooted in science of mind, we trust that spirit works through us, guiding every step of this process toward the highest good for our center. And that's a beautiful way to start a meeting. And then we asked the committee, what does that mean to you? And they came up with this. We show up on time regularly, and we make the committee work a priority in our lives. We share responsibilities. We do what we say we're going to do. We start the meeting with spiritual mind treatment, and then we follow that with a minute of reflection. I love that. And we share what's on our minds. In other words, no undercurrents, keep it out and open, and we maintain confidentiality because there's an element of HR involved in this process. Not all of the candidates' details can be discussed publicly, so that's important. Then we talked about how to meet community expectations. This was fun, because we already asked the community, the board, the congregation, the practitioners to fill in a survey online about what did they think would be the ideal qualities for the ideal future senior minister. As I mentioned, that information and the results of it, the composite profile, is on our website, and you can see it's aspirational. We talked about the best of the best of the best of the best, and there is no, I couldn't get that job. That job would be beyond my ability to qualify for, but it is our aspiration. So we talked about how we're going to use that input to guide decision. We also talked, and that's the green screen, that we're going to look at competency-based evaluation as well. As we look at candidates, we want to see what is their history with previous centers, what is their work, how they volunteered in the larger community where they're from. We're going to dig into their competency on a level, because there is an element of showing up to speak in a community. And if you're a very good speaker, that's marvelous, but do you have the rest of the competency? And so the committee is going to devise a way to find that out. They also are going to develop Google Forms to receive input from the community on the candidates. So when a candidate comes to speak, we'll make these online feedback forms available so that the community can participate, and then the committee can use that feedback as when they get ready to make their final final recommendation to the Board of Trustees, and then the Board of Trustees makes the final decision, and that's according to our bylaws. So this committee plans to be in alignment with this transition plan. The very first thing that was done even before the committee was established, the trustees did this. We prepared frequently asked questions, or Q&A. We also prepared an open pulpit listing. Mary Manat and I can't remember who, everybody's had their hands in this. We're working on the minister's job description because it needs to be brought up to current times, and we formed the committee. Then we plan, this is our plan, and we're actually ahead of plan. We're ahead of plan to start announcing the position through the formal channels starting between the second and third quarter, somewhere there. The official channels are through Home Office. They've got an open pulpit listing, and also through the various discussion groups that ministers use, as well as we might do some focused reaching out to ministers who are in pulpits just to sample their interest. And then the alignment will also be underpinned with a monthly document progress report, like sharing their minutes with the Board of Trustees, so that in our board minutes we have a record of what's going on. So in conclusion, this committee is well organized and well aligned to the job and the purpose, and they're working steadily towards the goal of identifying 3 candidates and bringing them to us to experience, and then making a recommendation to the Board of Trustees. That is the update of the Senior Minister Transition Team Committee report, and I open now for questions from anybody.
Laura, would you like to go ahead, please?
Okay. I was wondering, when you choose people, you're going to have, I'm guessing, an in-person panel that you'll interview people. Is that how that will work? To have the committee to be on a panel and to interview people live?
Yes, so just like we have transitioned to having our annual membership meeting online, we're going to use online Zoom features for the first rounds of interviews, and that will be the panel. We'll divide up the duties, and I know when I applied for this position, I don't think it'll be the same this time around, but when I applied for this position, there were 50 candidates, so the committee had to divide up for the first pass of interviews. So we'll have a Zoom interview with the candidates, and then we will narrow that down to 3, and then those 3 will be invited out to our community to speak on a Sunday, and then to do a workshop so that we can get a feeling of them, and then we will also have an in-person interview with that candidate when they're on our campus.
Excellent. One other question. When you get down to the 3, will you be involved in being on the panel to ask questions as well?
I don't think it's necessary. I think that I'm a member of the center, so I'm going to put my feedback in along with everybody else. I have that right. But I think that the committee is so solid and so well-rounded. Just like I'm not on the committee that selects the new trustees because we've got such a solid process. I think I will be consulting with the committee when we're doing our first round of interviews. Our paper, what do you call that? The first line of reviews, because I know most of the people in our movement, and I can help if needed.
Excellent. Thank you for answering my questions.
Great, thank you. And we have a written question from Kimberly. Have you already listed our opening for candidates to apply?
No, we have been busily creating our community profile. There's quite a wonderful process outlined by Home Office in which they ask us a series of questions. What's your website? What's your community like? And then we answer those, and it's like creating a dating profile. Once that's completed, it's called the open pulpit listing. Then we tell Home Office when we're ready to go live, and that's coming up. So we're prepared. We're doing the final crossing the T's and dotting the I's to make sure that what we're describing is a good reflection of who we are.
Thank you. And Ilka, would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question, please? Go ahead. I think we can hear you. Well, we see you're unmuted, but we're not hearing anything. Okay, we'll move
Okay, let's try
on.
that
Oh,
again. Can you hear
there
me?
we go. Go ahead.
Excellent. Thank you. Dr. Edward, you're probably well aware that most of us think you've been an absolutely stellar minister, and it's so good that you know so much about the Home Office as well. So why do you say that you couldn't meet those requirements?
Oh, because when we asked the community what do they see in the perfect minister, there's they described all of these qualities that not one person can be. They must be perfect in every single way. In fact, there's a very well-known joke about, in the Christian tradition of a community seeking a minister, and they say must be well dressed, but mustn't be ostentatious, must preach for 2 minutes, but must have all their time available, must drive a very good car but mustn't earn it. That sort of that dynamic conflict of when we aspire to have somebody, we're listing all of the best qualities we want. So I would say that is an aspirational description, and if we hold that standard that the community comes up with in the description, I think we'll scare people away.
Got it. Should be interesting.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And Susan asks a question, can you define pulpit listing?
Yes, it's like a dating profile. It says the Center for Spiritual Living is looking for a new minister. They've got X amount of ministers. They're located in the wine country. It describes, we're going to be putting our best qualities forward to attract applicants.
Thank you. Marla would like to know, will you still be involved on a much smaller scale after you retire?
Yes, it all depends on who the new minister is. When the new minister comes in, they might say, you know what, Edward, can you help out with X, Y, and Z? And if it's within my ability to do that, I will. I can see that down the road, maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get an invitation to speak now and then or teach, because how I love teaching. And it may be good for that senior minister to have me just be in the background for a bit so that they can make their presence felt and known. So why don't we just see how it goes? I mean, I live here. I live in Santa Rosa. I'm sitting in my home right now, and I love being here, and I love this community. I'm very invested in its success and its future. I've been here building with you a long time, so I'm not just walking away and saying bye-bye.
Thank you. And Michelle Botten, would you like to unmute and ask Dr. Edward your question, please?
Yes, hi. I probably speak for others when I say that I'm really glad I attended today to hear about the process. It warms my heart, calms my heart a bit. We're gonna miss you beyond words, but I almost feel like it's going to be kind of an exciting process too. And just wanted to say that. Are we also going to be reaching out internationally too? Is that?
Thank you. I first want to say I think that's the right approach. Let this be an exciting process for all of us. We can hold all of our feelings at the same time as being excited. I think it's emotional for all of us. And that's what I was talking about today. About reaching out internationally, we don't really have a large presence in the international arena. All ministers, wherever they are in whatever country, will receive the open pulpit listing. Nowadays, it's difficult to get working visas, even visitors' visas to the United States. So I don't know that we will get much interest from international territories. But any qualified minister may apply, anyone who is qualified. Now, that is a very important phrase, qualified minister. By our bylaws and our affiliation agreement, we may only hire a licensed minister who is licensed through Centers for Spiritual Living. So we can't hire a unity minister or a universalist minister or any, even if they're compatible, we are by law, our own bylaws, required to hire a Center for Spiritual Living minister.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. And Dinah would like to know, is there an established timeline or application deadline?
Yes, and if you go onto our website, that document that I was speaking about, it says the Senior Minister Search Committee report. It's got the entire timeline out there, the recommended timeline. Some areas we way ahead already, so that's good, gives us some flexibility. We may bump into, let's say we interview somebody. I'll give you, in my case, when I was hired, I was leaving another job. So I needed to give that job notice. So we might have to work out that transition. So we've given ourselves some wiggle room. And I've said to the board and everybody, look, if I need to be present for a few more months to help in the transition, I can do that. I'm not going to just leave us hanging. So we've got a lot of options here.
Thank you. Leon, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, would like to ask, when is the projected date for the new minister to begin?
Again, that document is up there, so go and have a look, because the projected date has to remain flexible. Ideally, that person will start when I've finished. So my last day is December 31st, 2027. So ideally, that person will start January 1st, 2028. But we have to be flexible. Maybe it's a month or two later. What if they're available earlier? Maybe we can put parallel time together so that they can be onboarded. So, there's not a deadline. There's a proposed timeline.
Thank you. And there's one more question from Marlene, actually two now. One more from Marlene asking, what direction do we want our center to go in the future?
I think our center has embraced the global vision so thoroughly that it sets a trajectory for expansion and growth in so many ways. We've applied it to world religion studies. We've applied it to social engagement. We've applied it to partnering with nonprofits. So there's so much potential for which way it can go. So we can remain loyal to the global vision and allow a new minister to bring their flavor into that at the same time. We are, by our bylaws, required to remain teachers of science of mind. We can't depart from that. We are going to blend that into our teaching always, and we're going to expand on it as we have been. So every year, we look at what do we want to do next year. And I think that the new minister should have a say in that when they show up. So the year 2028 is going to be thrilling. It's going to be a big year of unknown potential.
Thank you. And one more question from Mary asking, will our assistant minister, Reverend Russ, remain and help with the process as well?
That is a Reverend Russ question. He might apply for the position. We leave that entirely up to him, and I'm not going to put him on the spot over here. So there's all kinds of things to consider. Here's what we know for sure. We need a senior minister and we need an assistant minister. We need both positions. And so the board's job is to make sure that those positions are filled. So come what may, we're going to be making sure that we have that.
Thank you. There are no more questions or hands raised, so I think we're ready to continue on with the meeting.
Very good. Well, thank you. That's my report, and I want to thank you very much for your engagement, and I look forward to seeing you on Kirtan Sunday, next Sunday.
And Reverend Russ, would you like to join us, please?
Hello, my name is Russ Laguerre. I'm your assistant minister, and on behalf of the members and community, it is my pleasure to lead our time of recommitment and the induction of our new board of trustees. It is our tradition to charge each new board of trustees to hold our center in sacred trust. Before doing so, we, the witnesses of this ceremony, have an opportunity to renew our commitment as members of the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa. To set the tone for our trustees who will be committing to fulfill the duties of their position, I ask you, our members, do you commit to continue to be loyal, active, and supporting of your spiritual community here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Santa Rosa, to the best of your ability? And do you commit to continue in your own regular spiritual practice to the best of your ability so as to contribute to a world that works for everybody?
I will.
Thank you. Our trustees are guided by a covenant. It was read at the start of this meeting. The covenant is a commitment to be humble, gentle, and patient with one another as they attend to the business of the center. And it is a commitment also to strive to make spiritual practice, principle, and practice be the foundation of all the work that they do together on behalf of our spiritual community. So, to the trustees, on behalf of the members of our center, I ask you, will you commit to keeping a spirit of unity and love on the board by striving to see each other as an expression of the divine? If so, please say, I will.
I will.
I will.
I will.
I will.
I will.
Well,
Wonderful. Now, Linda Han attends each board meeting in her capacity as Chief Operating Officer. So I've invited her to read the intentions stated in the covenant as a refresher for those trustees continuing their service and as an introduction to those starting their service today.
Thank you, Reverend Russ. The intention of the Board of Trustees are to embrace spiritual principle and practice as the foundation of our activities, to maintain a big picture awareness, to articulate our vision, values, and philosophy, to maintain a high level of service and stewardship, to be ambassadors of the center, and to communicate openly and regularly.
Thank you, Linda. On behalf of the members of our center, I ask you, will you commit to keeping these intentions in the forefront of your awareness while you serve on the board? If so, please say, I will.
I will.
I will.
I will.
All right, having heard your willingness to abide by the vision of this covenant on behalf of the members of our center and through the power of the living spirit within each one of us, I declare you to be our newly elected and installed Board of Trustees. So please join me in welcoming our new Board of Trustees into sacred service.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the many people who have been working in the background, preparing for this meeting, and making sure that today this presentation virtually has been seamless. Starting with our practitioners, Anne-Marie Cheney and Sky Freeman and Reverend Sayota Bell, who have been at every one of the board meetings over the past year, holding the spiritual space for the work the board has done. And today, again, Anne-Marie Cheney, and then soon will be Lorena Fisher. Praying out are present for their high watch during today's meeting, including their prayers. Our former trustee, Nancy Reynolds, who has been in the background monitoring the Q&A and helping to answer the questions. Linda Han, our beloved COO, who has been monitoring the meeting, ensuring our accuracy, providing some answers, and taking the minutes. And our technical director and practitioner, Jeff Basham, who is serving as our Zoom host and virtual stage manager, not only today, but I think for the last 6 years. So thank you so much, Jeff. And now I will ask practitioner Lorena Fisher to do a closing prayer for us.
Just breathing into this stillness, this place we call life, that infinite source that has been in and through each and every one of us as we've been in this meeting. And I claim for all that the work that has been done to present this meeting has been fully awakened within each of us. We are more aligned, we are more involved, we are more aware of the good that has gone into preserving and exploring and expanding our center. And I am so grateful for our new trustees, blessing those that are leaving the board of trustees, and yet will be still involved. That infinite and wonderful Reverend Edwards' talk, or explanation of a senior minister report, was so heart-opening, allowing us to feel safe, to feel blessed, that we are doing the work in finding a new senior minister and all that is going on behind the scenes, and allowing for this congregation to know that we are held and supported and sustained by that divine source. And with a heart filled with gratitude and thanksgiving for all, I simply let this word go, knowing that it is already happening. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you, Lorena. We have now concluded our business on our agenda. And at this time, I ask for a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Motion has been made by Chandra Farnsworth and seconded by Jackie Hansen.
Thank you. And now we get to vote one last time to adjourn the meeting.
And the votes are coming in. And a few more seconds here for anyone that would like to vote. Okay, we'll go ahead and end that vote and display the results.
Not surprisingly, 100% are ready to say goodbye. As am I. The meeting is adjourned, and thank you so much for letting me be on your Board of Trustees for these last 3